So right now, as we speak, American households are drowning like the Titanic in debt. And not good debt. This is bad debt. So, in case you didn't know, there's a difference between good debt and bad debt. Yes, it's true. There is a such thing as good debt. I would describe good debt as debt that you use to acquire some type of asset that pays you, and then someone else pays the debt off and not you. I would describe bad debt as debt that you use to pay for a liability and you have to pay off the debt. So I'm sitting here on the lake, and but as I'm looking, I'm seeing this incredibly huge apartment complex being assembled, right? And I don't know why those things are not open. They're not open. I don't know. Yeah, probably so, but I mean, the park is open 24/7. So like if you have kids, so I don't know why they have this park open and they keep the bathrooms locked. Drives me nuts. So, but anyway, right here, I'm sitting and I'm watching them build this giant apartment complex, and that thing is funded by debt. Yeah, so that's probably, let's just say, $50 million investment. That's no one's like pulling $50 million out of their bank account. That's not even smart. And so that thing is funded by debt. So they'll go and borrow the money, build it, and then charge you rent to pay off the debt and put money in their pocket, right? So positive cash flow from an asset, that's good debt. Bad debt would be if you borrowed money to buy a house and then you moved into the house. That's bad debt. I'm not telling you don't buy a house. I know you guys go nuts and you're sensitive about your homes, but that would be an example of bad debt because you're the one responsible for paying off the debt. So again, my way of saying it is simple. It's good debt. Let's see, what's a good? So good debt pays you. Bad debt plays you. Corny, I know, but it rhymes, so to help you to remember. The reason I like things that rhyme is because we were always taught, as children, nursery rhymes, and we always remember them. So, but because I think about Jack and Jill went up the okay hill. Okay, got you. So we've always been conditioned, how to rhyme, and it helps you to remember. And so, but good debt pays you, bad debt plays you. Right? So if you have good debt, it's going to pay you. If you have bad debt, it's going to play you. So this drives people crazy because I this is why I always say that your house is not an asset if you live in it and you pay off the mortgage. Now, if you want to live in it and you know it's a liability and you still want your house, fine. I have no problems with that. And but to call it an asset is not true. The asset or the home that you live in and pay a mortgage on, it's an asset. Yes, it's just not an asset to you. It's an asset to the lender because they get paid monthly, not you. You pay monthly. So hit subscribe, hit thumbs up. Welcome to the channel. I hope that some of the content that I give you on this channel helps you. I'm working on another channel. I'll let you know as soon as it drops. That channel is going to be more focused on the average everyday person and their financial journey, right? And so it's going to be a beautiful channel. I'll let you know when it drops. I'm also thinking about doing a Bible study channel. Let me know if you're interested in that. Just let me know in the comments. And if you're a new subscriber to the channel, bang that thumbs up and then leave a comment. Let me know down below. New subscriber, I'll shout you out in the next video. I appreciate you. If you have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to add to the community, feel free to do so. But debt in the country is out of control. And the reason it is, and listen, it doesn't just stop with the household. The companies are in debt. Apartment builders like these, not necessarily this company, but apartment builders are in debt. Commercial real estate Commercial buildings in debt, struggling, especially when this debt gets called, right? Uh, Government, uh, so much debt in the government, it doesn't even make any sense to try to pay it back. That's how bad government debt is. I think it's like closing in on 40 trillion. You can't even comprehend how much money that is. That's like all the money in the world we owe in debt. Like, and people are like, what are they going to do? Well, they don't have many choices. They're either going to tax you, or they're gonna have to go to some type of other currency. Like the dollar is going to be trash. That's why Robert Kiyosaki always says that the dollar is trash, because they printed so much of it, it's garbage, and people are holding on to it like it's gold, but it's not. It's trash. That's why you see people throwing money into Bitcoin, throwing money into real estate, into their houses, understanding that, hey, it's probably a better place to put it, even though I know this house is a liability. It's costing me for the next 30, 40, God forbid, 50 years. Don't get me started on that. But it's better than dropping it in a bank. I don't know. I'm not telling you that, but I have my own ideas, my own thoughts about that. But I'm just thinking about all the people in America who are struggling financially. And the reason the debt is up there is because people are paying for things with their futures. It's money they don't have that they're going to have to pay back in the future. They're going to have to, I call it selling your life. So when you swipe that credit card and you spend $1,000, okay, do you have that thousand in the bank to pay it back? No. Then it's going to cost you $1,000 in the future, a little more with interest, but $1,000 to pay this back. Well, how long does it take you to make $1,000 on your job? Oh, a week. Okay, well, you're going to have to pay these folks 40 hours of your life to pay back this debt. And that's why people struggle so much, because they have to pay back this 40 hours of debt. It's going to cost, because when you're at the grocery store, the gas station, and you look up and you go, man, this is a $300 grocery bill. The first thing you do, because I used to do this, first thing you do is you go, okay, I make $20 an hour, which is pretty much minimum wage nowadays. I make $20 an hour, and okay, 300. So 15 hours of work. So pretty much 2 days of work to buy 4 bags of groceries. And that's how sad and pathetic it's gotten in this country, probably in this world. I don't know, but I'm just speaking, based on what I know. I'm not going to speculate. Well, I will. It's probably bad everywhere. But here, it's tough. I see headlines all the time, you know, Gen Z, millennials not having kids. Hey, look, I can't blame them. I have 4 kids. I love my kids. Kids are awesome. But if I was like single and, had no kids in this economy, I wouldn't be thinking about having kids. I wouldn't be thinking about buying a house. I wouldn't be thinking about, well, there is something I would be thinking about. And I wish I knew this years ago, but I didn't. But I would be thinking about, because now you guys that are young, you have access to all this information online. I didn't have all that. YouTube wasn't banging the way it is today. You couldn't get all this beautiful information from a random person on YouTube saying, hey, before you buy that house, here's a question you need to ask. How am I going to pay for it? If the answer is your job, don't buy the house. Why? Because now more than ever, jobs are not safe, not secure, not reliable. In fact, if you get a 30-year mortgage, you're going to need 30 years of paychecks. That's going to obligate you to 30 years of paychecks, unless you find a way to make money that does not include your job. Well, since you haven't done that yet, don't buy the house. In fact, don't buy the car. Don't take the vacation. I didn't know all these things. I would have been sitting there going, hey, how do I take this little paycheck and flip it into more money? What can I do? What can I do? I need to get my hustle on. What can I do? How do I flip this paycheck into more money, more moolah, baby? How do I turn this thing into more money? How do I turn this thing into more dollars? That's what I'd be thinking about. I'd be thinking about, how do I take $1 and make two? That's the only thing I want to do with my money. I don't want to stack it in the bank. I don't want to manifest rainy days and emergencies. I don't want any of that. The only thing I'm thinking about is, how do I take this money and make more money? I don't want to stack it in the bank and wait on bad things to happen and then spend it and then justify it by saying, see, I told you something bad was going to happen. I don't want those emergencies. Yes, I know life will bring them on their own, but what I'm not going to do is call for it. I'm not going to manifest it. No, I don't have a savings account. I know that'll blow your mind. What I have is an opportunity account. See, you're looking for savings. I'm not. I'm looking for opportunity. I'm looking for somewhere to put the money. Why? Because I know money parked in the bank is dead money. You may as well throw it in this lake behind me. You may as well take the money and throw it out there. Don't hit that person, but take the money and throw it out there. It's the same thing. You put it in the bank and bury it. You may as well put it in this little fire pit next to me and burn it. It's the same thing. There's no difference. There's no difference. You may as well burn it. It's all the same. What's the difference? It's dead anyway. In fact, if saving money was the way to financial freedom, then let me ask you this. Why don't the banks save money? Because they know it's not the way. Investing is the way. Investing what? Whatever you can figure out to invest in. I'm not your financial advisor. Everything I tell you is based on my experience and what I've been through. If I'm you, I wouldn't buy a house until I have cash flow from an asset. If I'm you, I wouldn't buy a car until I have cash flow from an asset. That's just me. If I'm you, I'm not stacking money in the bank account and just leaving it there. I'm getting the money out, some of it, and I'm starting to use it on creativity, on ideas, on investments to see if I can flip something. I'm not just going to sit on money. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to turn off the TV, the electronic income reducer, and I'm going to get to grind mode and try to figure out how to make money without punching a clock. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to figure out how to get paid without having to work hard. I did a video recently and you guys were nuts. You're like, what do you mean? You got to do hard work. You can't have success without working hard. That is not true. It sounds cute on social media, but it's not true. You don't have to work hard. The harder you work, the more you struggle. I'm convinced. I've had some suck jobs. You know what my income looked like in those days? It sucked. It matched the type of job I had. Now, you find, for instance, this thing behind me, this beautiful, beautiful apartment complex they're building. Guess what? The person who's building, or the group of people who are building this apartment complex, do you think they're out there on that roof doing drywall, hanging sheetrock, uh, roofing, doing the landscape? Tell me, do you think they're out there working on this or not? Because I'm looking at a few people up there right now. Do you think the investors, the owners of this property, do you think they're working on this right now? Absolutely not. Well, all of the hard work is done out here. See, these guys that are up there, let me show you. So somebody's got a great spot on the lake. But all of these guys that are up there, where is it? Okay, there it is. All these guys that are up there working on that roof, building out that roof, getting that complex up, that's the hard work. That's the hard work. Building this is the hard work. Do you believe that the owners of the property are over there working right now? No. What are they doing? At the hardest thing they're doing is walking around looking. That's it. So again, I'm here to convince you that the harder you work, the more you struggle. That the toughest thing, that when you put yourself in a position where it's hard work, you're the one making the least. Let me ask you, the guys that are over here building the complex versus the guys who own and invest and who's going to make all the money from the complex, who do you think's working the hardest? The guys who are building, right? Okay. Who do you think is making the most money? The builders or the owners? Absolutely, the owners. So the owners have a system in place that when they invest in a complex or anything like that, it gets built without them having to go out and build it. They never pick up a hammer. They don't have nails. They don't have any of that. And they don't have to. You know why? Because it ain't necessary. So I'm about to get off here and enjoy the rest of my day, probably take a walk, hang out in the neighborhood, And one day I'm going to learn how to sail. So there's a sailboat center here somewhere you can rent where they teach you how to do it. And one day I'm going to learn how to do it, but it won't be today. So, all right, I got to go. I hope this video helps you. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And again, the harder you work, just think about this. The people who are making the most money, they're not doing the hard work. I don't care what they tell you. I don't care if they're like, yeah, it's hard work, it's hustle and grind. Not true. These people put systems together, they put business ideas together, then they put a system together to orchestrate or to get the business built, just like a blueprint. All right. Take, for instance, this complex behind me that's being built. This thing just requires a blueprint. So someone has the idea to build it. They, of course, they buy the land or lease the land or whatever, and then they come out here and they map it all out with a blueprint, right? And then they the next thing they do is, oh, they pick up nails and they start hammering. No, no, no. They don't even have a measuring tape. They probably don't even know how to build that. So what they do is they bring in a team, which is a system. This is a manual system, but they bring in a system that gets these things built. And as soon as the system is in place, that thing gets built and it's done. Kind of like my middleman business, right? So my middleman business, shout out to all the students who just got in. Hurry up if you want to get in before you end up on the waiting list. So, but a middleman business is a system, just like Uber. Uber's a middleman business. It's a system. Uber creators figured out that, hey, we could probably create something where we could get people rides all around the world without actually having to go out and do it ourselves. And so they partnered with anyone who has a vehicle, you, and they created a system that connects riders and drivers. And every time the connection is made, they get paid. Now, let me ask you, does Uber go out and drive anybody around? No. Has Uber ever driven you around? No. It's just regular, everyday people using their vehicles, partnering with Uber. Uber matches them and gets paid. That's a middleman business model. All we do is matching. That's it. We're matchmakers. If you go to one of my websites, bookandmove.com, and if you're someone who needs a move, by the way, go there. We'll match you with the best mover in your area. We have the best on our site. Beautiful, beautiful movers, beautiful companies, excellent companies. And they'll make your day super easy. You go there, you pay your deposit, and your book. We take care of the rest. You just sit back and relax, enjoy your day. You don't have to call anybody. There's no quote comparison. There's no chasing quotes. There's no anything. You pay that deposit, and then we match you, and that's it. Now, do I move you? No, and I don't want to. And you don't want me to. Just like Uber doesn't drive anybody around, I don't move anybody. I have students with cleaning services. They don't clean anybody. I have students with moving services. They don't move anybody. They don't even know how. I have students with website design services. They don't build websites. I have students with lawn care services, pest control services, television mounting services, bounce house for party services. And guess what? They don't do any of it. That's the beauty of a middleman business. Anyway, if that's something you want to learn how to do, put the word teach me in the comments below. If you see this video in time, you could get into my final training of the year. It's going to be Thursday, 7 p.m. Otherwise, you guys are going to have to wait till next year. I don't recommend it because next year is going to be hard. Millions of people are going to lose their jobs due to AI and automation. Please don't wait for that to happen to you. Hit subscribe, hit thumbs up, put teach me in the comments below. I'll hook you up with a link for the free training. Let's go. Peace.